Right guys, welcome down to Fitness Friday here at Quest Golf Studio here in Lytham, and hopefully it's going to be a little routine to help you be ready for your round of golf next time you play. So warming up is massively important, it really is, and a lot of golfers overlook it. And I don't mean from a standpoint of just hitting some balls or doing a bit of chipping or putting, I mean stretching, properly warming yourself up. Now, if you ever to go to a tour event and watch tour pros, it's something that they do religiously. And you've got your golfers like Jimenez, who does all the round and about. But stretching is hugely important. I'm going to go through my stretching routine before I go and play. Now, it's not overly complex. There's not a load of scientific evidence of how much it works, but it definitely makes me feel more relaxed, looser, and ready to practice and actually get ready for my round of golf. So what I would generally do first is I would grab a mid-iron first. And my big things that I like to stretch is my back. I make sure that I'm really stretching my back out. I'm never pushing myself too much to a limit. I want to try and keep this in a time frame of 3 or 4 minutes maximum. So I'm never going to go silly amount of stretching on this. But I would generally get a mid-iron, a 7-iron. I would place it high above my head. And the stretch I want to do first is where I push my arms backwards, feeling like I'm stretching the top of my back, my shoulders out. I would hold that for about 10 seconds, come back down, and then do it again. Now I would repeat each exercise 3 times, working on holding that stretch, and then coming back down again. And one more time, up, arms nice and straight. Notice I'm not bending or pulling it in. I'm pushing my arms back just to feel the stretch in my shoulder. From there, I would do a counter movement to that. So I would go below, arms low, and I'm going to stretch lower down on my back and more across the front of my shoulders this time. Club along my back and then pull backwards. I'm pulling my chest out, the front of my shoulder, and a little bit more of my lower back. I can also feel it in my triceps and biceps too as well. Not that I've got much tricep and bicep, but 10 seconds again and push it back. And back out. 10 seconds. And then repeat one more time. Not overly stretching this. And again, notice I'm not bending my elbows in. I'm just pushing the club backwards and getting the feel for that. The next one I would do, so I've shaken my arms off a little bit. Next one I do is I try and pass the club back, down my back, to stretch my arm out, my top arm. So I'm holding it, the grip, and I'm really trying to stretch upwards with my arm to get a real long, deep stretch. Now, for some reason, I only ever do this once. I don't repeat this one 3 times. I feel like it's quite a strenuous action, so I wouldn't want to keep repeating this one. I'll swap arms. Holding it with the grip, pulling it up with the head. It's stretching not only my right arm, but also my left. I'm holding it for 10 seconds. So I'm ready and limber and loose. My next movement, I do quite a lot of wrist exercises. So I would hold the club out in front and I would rotate through and around. Again, working on the wrist and the forearms. Starting from the club facing downwards and then turning it all the way around so the club's facing upwards. I would look at doing this 10 times. Again, this is not an overly complex stretching exercise or a warming up exercise. It's something that's just going to get you ready for your round of golf. So 10 on that side, then swap over. 10 on this side. Just working on the main aspects. The last movement I would do, which is probably the most extreme one, I say extreme, it's not really extreme. You can do that 10 on each arm, or you can even go further than that if you feel like you need a bit more of a stretch. Again, I normally only go 10 on each side. I would get the club out in front and I would just have a nice long lunge, really trying to push into this thigh, into my glute, pushing down, not really pushing on the club. My back leg is straight and I'm just squatting down, keeping my heel on the floor, really feeling it in my glute. Again, holding it for a good 10 seconds. Swapping back over, shaking that leg off. Hold it. Stretch. Keeping that heel down, that front heel down, really squatting and stretching into that right thigh, and I can feel it in my calf, really getting that good stretch. Again, you can repeat that 3 times. And then the last thing I would do is just loosen up. So I would do some swings with some clubs, just not hitting balls, making sure that all those exercises I feel good about, I feel stretched, I feel ready for my round of golf. Doing some warm-up shots, short shots, medium shots, long shots, putting, ready for the first tee, and go and shoot the best score you can shoot. Guys, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the little stretching video, please do like, subscribe to the Quest Golf channel by clicking below. We shall see you next time down here at the wonderful Quest studio. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And hopefully, guys, you'll play really well with that advice.